Have you ever watched a football match and felt, deep down, that something just wasn't right? Not because your team lost, not because of one bad decision, but because every controversial call, every ignored foul, every shocking VAR review seemed to push the game toward one predetermined outcome. What if I told you millions of fans around the world are asking that exact question today? And what if one referee's alleged confession has reignited one of the biggest controversies football has ever seen? Welcome back to the channel. Today's story isn't just about football, it's about power. It's about controversy. It's about the accusations shaking the sport to its very core. We're talking about claims of corruption at the highest levels, controversial VAR decisions that continue to divide fans worldwide, and a nation that believes it was robbed on football's biggest stage. By the end of this video, you'll understand why millions of Mexican fans are furious, why social media has exploded with accusations against FIFA and VAR officials, and why this story is being called one of the most controversial moments in recent football history. If these allegations are true, they could change the way fans look at the beautiful game forever. And if they're not, then one question still remains. Why did so many decisions appear to go against Mexico at the worst possible moment? We all watched as Mexico stepped onto the pitch, carrying the hopes of an entire nation. Millions of supporters believed this was going to be a night remembered for courage, determination, and footballing excellence. Instead, it became a night filled with disbelief, confusion, and heartbreak. Every controversial whistle seemed to raise even more questions. Every VAR review left fans demanding answers. Every replay only fueled the outrage. Supporters couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Challenges that looked like clear fouls were waved away. Moments that deserved closer scrutiny appeared to be dismissed in seconds. Meanwhile, other decisions seemed to receive extraordinary attention. Was it simply human error under enormous pressure? Or was there something much bigger happening behind the scenes? That's the question millions have been asking ever since the final whistle. Then came the twist that shocked football fans around the world. Reports began circulating about an alleged referee confession, with claims suggesting that powerful interests, politics, and financial influence may have affected crucial decisions. If those claims are accurate, the implications would be enormous. But how much of the story is fact? How much is speculation? And what evidence actually exists? Today, we're breaking down every major moment, every controversial decision, every allegation, and every piece of evidence, so you can decide for yourself. Stay with me until the very end, because the final revelation has left fans around the world questioning whether football is still decided on the pitch or somewhere far beyond it. And now, the mask has slipped. In a recent interview, the man at the center of it all, Alireza Fagani, opened up in ways that have sent shockwaves through the entire football world, especially here in Mexico. His words weren't just admissions of mistakes. They were cracks in the wall that FIFA built to hide their agenda. Let me paint the full picture for you, because this goes much deeper than one match. From the very first whistle, the atmosphere inside the Azteca was electric. Over 2 million passionate Mexican fans filled the streets around the stadium. The energy was unreal. Flags waving, chants shaking the ground, hearts beating as one. Mexico wasn't just playing a game. We were living a dream, hosting the World Cup on home soil, showing the world what real football passion looks like. Hotels packed, fan zones overflowing with joy. Foreign visitors falling in love with our culture, our warmth, our people. But certain powers didn't like that success. Mexico advancing deep in the tournament meant more games here, more revenue, more spotlight on a nation that proved it could host better than anyone expected. And that threatened the narrative they wanted. The one where money flows to certain countries and certain interests. Enter the referee, Alireza Fagani, and his VAR team. In that fateful interview, when asked if he got key decisions wrong against Mexico, Fagani didn't deny it. He admitted the pressure inside the Azteca consumed them. He said plays that deserved red cards were missed. He even suggested VAR failed. But then came the most telling part. He claimed there was no bad faith, just human error and interpretation. Come on, how many human errors can stack up in one direction? A brutal studs-up challenge straight into Luis Romo's face. A clear red card that could have changed the game. Ignored. A dangerous elbow from an England player on Jorge Sanchez. Another obvious sending off. Nothing. And Harry Kane's penalty? Born from a handball situation that VAR somehow decided not to review properly. These weren't marginal calls. These were game-changing moments that screamed injustice. The journalist pushed harder. He asked about political pressure, about FIFA's decisions, and even referenced external influences. Fagani's response was careful, but revealing. He acknowledged that Mexico was an economic and crowd success. More matches for Mexico meant more money, more atmosphere, more everything. He basically admitted the system knew Mexico's progress was good for business, yet decisions still went against us. Even more damning, Fagani revealed he had never worked with the VAR officials before. They didn't speak the same language fluently. There was zero proper coordination. He had to call the VAR booth himself after a controversial red card to an England player because he couldn't see it clearly. They never contacted him first. Think about that. In the biggest tournament on earth, the most important match for a host nation, and the communication between officials was non-existent? That's not professionalism. That's negligence at best, and something far darker at worst. Now let's talk about who was actually in that VAR booth. Nicolás Gallo from Colombia and Juan Lara from Chile. These names should ring alarm bells for anyone who follows football. Nicolás Gallo has a troubled history in the Colombian league. He's faced sanctions, accusations of pressuring field referees, and claims of manipulating decisions from the VAR chair. Ex-referees and league directors have called him out publicly. Multiple media outlets have reported on these controversies. Is this the person you want reviewing critical moments in a World Cup knockout game involving the host nation? Really? Juan Lara's record is equally concerning. His only game in this tournament, Canada versus Qatar, is already labeled one of the most poorly officiated matches. In Chile, he carries a reputation for controversial last-minute VAR interventions that conveniently benefit big clubs. Goals disallowed at the death. Decisions that raise eyebrows. Again, not my words. This is what local journalists and fans have said for years. So FIFA chose these two for the Mexico game. The main referee admits he barely knows them and couldn't communicate effectively. The whole setup stinks of a setup. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but the evidence is piling up. A plancha to the face, a clear elbow, a handball ignored. All against Mexico, all in favor of England. This isn't just about one referee or one match. It's about a pattern. FIFA has a history of questionable decisions, especially when money, politics, and hosting rights are involved. Mexico was delivering the party of the century, streets alive with fans from all nations, foreign visitors choosing Mexico over other venues because of the passion, the fan fests, the genuine hospitality. We showed that even without being the richest country, when football lives in the soul of the people, magic happens. Compare that to the other host nation that got the lion's share of games. Empty seats in stadiums, lackluster atmospheres, fan zones described as boring by international visitors. Their own team eliminated not by giants like Brazil or Portugal, but by a modest Belgium side. Yet they still pushed the narrative that they were the center of the World Cup. Mexico, with far fewer matches, delivered double, even triple the energy and economic impact in many areas. That success threatened the plan, so the system stepped in. After that interview, what happened to Fagani? FIFA sanctioned him. If everything was clean and he simply made honest mistakes, why punish the man for speaking? It looks like they wanted to silence him. Meanwhile, the VAR officials with their own baggage continue working. The tournament goes on. Questionable calls continue. Mexican fans, this is our moment to stand tall. Despite the elimination, we are winning hearts worldwide. Foreign visitors are still here, not just for games, but because they fell in love with our country and our people. They experienced the real World Cup spirit in Mexico. They saw fans supporting not only El Tri, but also other nations with generosity and warmth. We welcomed everyone, even those who criticized us before. That's who we are, proud, passionate, and resilient. The pressure is mounting. Fans, media, and international voices are demanding more matches hosted in Mexico. They're tired of cold, empty atmospheres elsewhere. They want the fire, the color, the emotion that only Mexican fans deliver. To Infantino and FIFA, the doors are open here. We can host semi-finals. We can host a final, but don't think it will be on your terms alone. We demand respect. We demand fairness. Try filling those giant stadiums up north without our passion. See how that works for your business model. This World Cup should be remembered for the Mexican people, for the way we filled streets, created unforgettable fan fests, and showed the world how to truly celebrate football. Not for politics, not for backroom deals, not for rigged decisions. Mexico, we were robbed on the pitch, but we cannot be robbed of our dignity. We rise above it. We analyze what happened. We push for transparency in FIFA. And we keep winning where it matters most, in the hearts of fans everywhere. The life always delivers justice in the end. Mexico is still standing strong. The fever of the World Cup continues here because the people make it special. Hundreds of thousands of visitors keep arriving. They want to experience this beautiful country and its incredible supporters. If you're watching this and you love football, if you believe in fair play, if you're tired of corruption tarnishing the sport we all love, then stand with Mexico. Share this video. Let the world know what really happened. Comment below with Mexico no se rinde if you refuse to stay quiet, like if you want more videos exposing these injustices. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we will keep fighting for the truth. This is bigger than one match. This is about the soul of football, and Mexico represents that soul better than anyone. We were hurt, yes, but we are not broken. We are proud, we are loud, and we will be heard. Thank you for watching. This is the truth they don't want you to see. Until next time, Fuerza México, siempre.